right, so what I want you to do is I want you to pour that.
Yep.
And I will pour decanted champagne into the one furthest from you. Please don't destroy any of these Riedel glasses.
Okay.
Yeah. Just make sure you know that is the decanted for the half hour.
This is the glass. So decanted, let's do to the right.
Okay.
Glass to the left.
It's going to get complicated very soon. All right.
Okay.
Here we go. All right. So this may taste different. It may not, but it may taste different than the bottle that we had before. So let's taste
Decanted to the right? Or to the left?
Oh, I have it in front. So this
Okay.
is my non-decanted. This is my decanted.
Mott, is this my...
That's your decanted.
This is my decanted.
Okay.
Good.
This is your decanted?
Yes.
Okay,
So we're non-decanted?
that's right.
Beautiful.
Okay. Now we're all square. So
Sniffing this up.
sniffy sniffing. Actually, this is a little bit better bottle.
Yeah, it is.
A little bit fresher.
Yes,
and that's
it's a
why you
little more
want to do
vibrant.
it. Yeah, that's why you want to do it. And I didn't want to have one bottle versus another, because if I decanted another one, it wouldn't have been apples to apples.
It is. It's bottle variation is fascinating. Okay.
All right, so now what we want to do is taste the decanted. Actually, just off the bat, just getting the nose, it's much more aromatic. Yeah.
As every beverage is when it's, when it's been opened a little bit, almost always.
Yeah, it's releasing much more. And really what's happening is you have those oxygen molecules are actually detaching the sulfur dioxide molecules and releasing those components, making them more volatile. So that's the reason why you're getting much more aromas at this point.
So, to the 50 to 75 of you that were at my Food and Wine Festival seminar on Saturday night, that Pinotage was shocking. I just had them kind of just even a swirl. They were just blown away by what happened in 5 minutes on the opening. So, just fascinating stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting much more caramel notes. So more like a sugared kind of brown sugar kind of note there. I don't know what you're getting. And the bubbles are softer, but they're still there.
Considerably softer.
Yeah.
I feel that the decanted effort is substantially more round.
You're right.
Substantially.
But look, you can still see the bubbles going. This has been decanted for a half an hour. You still see those bubbles going through there.
You know what's so weird, Jen, to be honest with you? So I went to an 82 champagne tasting the other day.
Very nice. That's a very big champagne year. That's
Great
a
year.
Vintage, big vintage.
I like champagne without bubbles. And by the way, I adore bubbles. Great contradiction right there, right? But I mean, really, I think that there is such a romantic thing about aged champagne that doesn't bring bubbles to the table. It's a different experience that
It is.
a dramatic amount of people out there have not had the opportunity to do.
No.
And it's really too bad because it is fundamentally a completely different experience that almost anything else can provide. And I find them very fascinating. I find the second tier, back to the brown sugar, which becomes very common as it gets older, just kind of like, almost like baked apples.
Yeah.
Apple
pie type
yes.
of, yeah.
I mean, you get such a different flavor profile that is really unmatched. And I really feel like when some people are like, oh, what happened to the bubbles? Or if they get scared as it decants longer.
Yeah.
I kind of think it's interesting. I think a lot of people might find that it's more interesting for their palate. Especially I find white Burgundy drinkers tend to attach
absolutely.
themselves to that kind of style.
And one of the things that they say about champagne, especially older champagne is from the Côte de Blanc, is that it takes on that kind of white Burgundy kind of
It really
character.
does.
Yeah, so that hazelnut kind of character you see in
It was very nutty.
Yeah, so it's
a lot of them, the far majority of them, actually.
Yeah, but it can be quite beautiful. My husband and I did a dinner at CIA, and he had never tasted anything really. He's in banking, so he's not into wine at all. And I introduced him to the 1985 Champagne Charlie. Well, he was like, it's got, doesn't have that many bubbles in it. And it's like, well, no, just trust me, just taste it. And when he tasted it, he was in love. He was absolutely in love.
Do you guys drink wine at home?
We do drink
often?
wine. Well, for a period of time there, what we would do as a tradition is we would have some champagne on a Friday. You know, whether it was a half bottle or whatever it was, just our glass. We just celebrate at the end of the week. You know.
Are you into champagne as a category more than you are into red or white?
No.
Is it all equal to you? Is it?
Well, because I work for Remy Cointreau and Charles Heidsieck and Piper Heidsieck, I do get quite access to amazing champagnes, but I love white Burgundy. White Burgundy is one. If I'm having a bad day at the office or you know,
how's that possible with all this
I
champagne?
don't know. I really don't know. But if it gets particularly stressful,
I understand.
I sit there and go, okay, if I need to find a wine that really brings me back, you know, usually it's a white Burgundy, but you know, but older champagne can do that too as well. So I'm a Chardonnay fan.
While I've got you to nerd it up, 05, 06 vintage white Burgundies. I've been doing a lot of head-to-head stuff, interesting stuff. Where do you kind of sit on?
05, 06?
Yeah.
I mean,
how do you like?
06 is definitely a more finesse-driven vintage.
Yeah.
05 is going to be much more of a powerhouse. I mean, I think you're going to see the acidity in the 06 last a bit longer, but in the short term, the 05s are going to have much more.
05 got a lot more press, and I've been so much more interested in the 06s.
Yeah.
When I've tasted them.
Bordeaux vintages generally tend to transcend, you know, great Bordeaux vintages. You know, 05 is a great Bordeaux vintage.
I'm talking about white Burgundy.
White Burgundy.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
I thought you were talking about.
I'm talking about 05, 06.
Yeah, but
white
it's
Burgundy.
generally the same.
Well, times.
06.
It can get tricky there sometimes.
Well, I'm glad I could say this because 06 still in Burgundy.
I mean, look at 91, right?
Yeah, 91.
Pretty terrible in Bordeaux. Some interesting stuff in Burgundy.
Yeah.
Especially when you know, weed through it.
So for 06, is a more finesse-driven vintage, but they're showing quite perfumed right now. 05s is definitely, especially for the reds, are beautiful because you've got that more.
The collectors came out hard for 05.
Yeah,
Red Burks.
absolutely, because you've got some of that, you know, flavor ripeness in addition to the phenolic ripeness that you've got going in the 05s because it was so warm and because you have the ideal conditions in September. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's taste. So you like that? So you thought there was a difference?
Oh God, you're preaching to the choir.
Oh no, I'm just This was the Mythbuster segment.
Yeah,
So.
I'm sorry. I don't want to ruin your show. Yes, quite a bit. I mean, clearly, from an acidity standpoint, I felt that the half an hour completely molded into more of a complete. You know, I would say it like this. The non-decanted version had two things I liked. It had its acidity and the bubbles, and they were rocking, and they were sharp, and it had some nice kind of like second tier, that creme
But
kind
you
of
have to
like.
wait for it a little bit.
And more importantly, it was like a play.
Yeah.
There was the first segment, there was intermission, and then you had it. Whereas the decanted one did a much better job of making it more like a movie. It was just kind of going on and on. You like that analogy?
Yeah, movie.
I saw that.
Movie. Okay.
So that's kind of what it did for my palate.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, let's try the hour.
Okay.
So we've got the bottle there.
Yep. Here you go.
Okay.
Non-decanted.
Make sure that's all right.
So we're gonna do the non-decanted first.
Non-decanted first.
This time I got it. I was paying much more attention. Okay. So let's snip it up. This is acting a lot more like the last one. There's something interesting. There's some sort of really interesting flavor. And I called it marzipan the first time, and it's not exact. What is this? God.
I think it's dried apple.
I mean, the apple is really obvious. There's something I'm picking up on the nose. And you know, it's weird. I don't get it the second and third and fourth time. I got it on the first wine big time, and I got it again on this one.
And this is the first time I'm actually getting some of a creamy, almost a little buttery kind of texture towards that. I mean, all these wines go through malolactic, but you get some of that.
I got the creme big time in the first one for sure. Okay, and now the 1 hour.
Yep. So, smelling this one, and then, yeah, it's even more pronounced. The aromas is jumping out of the glass. Let me just grab my half-hour one.
I think the difference between the half an hour and the first wine, aromatically for me, was more distinct than this one is to the half an hour on the nose. How about for you? More on this one? I think the jump from 0 to 30 was more significant than 32 an hour.
Yeah, and it's funny too because I've done this where it's quite the reverse.
How is it for you this time?
It does jump out of the glass, but it doesn't jump out as much as the half-hour one. The half-hour one, but we have been talking for quite some time, so
That's a good point.
I don't know if it actually was a half hour or it could have been a little bit longer than that.
Did we compromise our science
the
project?
entire thing is a
Doesn't that mean we
big
have to
bust.
start all over? Mott.
Rewind the tape.
Okay, let's see what happens on the palate.
Regardless, is there still bubbles in there?
Oh, absolutely.
See, so that
Why? And I've noticed you've been really driving that home.
Yeah.
Is that because a lot of people think it won't happen?
Absolutely.
Is that because people have been using the wrong decanter?
It could be they've used the wrong decanter, but I've heard so many times that people say that they wouldn't decant champagne because
They don't want to lose the bubbles.
Yeah, it won't last.
So I see. So where you're coming from, that fierceness, is because you've heard that so much.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, but
There's clearly bubbles.
there's clearly bubbles.
Yes.
I think this could be a better bottle.
What's that?
That
It's
was the decanter for 90 minutes.
90
minutes at this point, right? Because
At
it was
this
an hour
point.
and we're a half an hour in.
So it's an hour and a half decanted. Okay.
Fair enough.
So this one was the hour, I guess. Okay. So had we done a 15-minute one, that would have been the half hour, right?
You know,
Okay.
what I'm picking up on this one that I did not pick up in the prior is almost like the lemon peel of a
Yeah.
cappuccino,
I
right?
get,
Like-
yeah,
like-
I
right?
get that. Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like there's that breadiness,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the bread and that. But on this go round, the apples are followed up with a substantial lemon peel component.
It's got an
This is-
acidic bite to it.
This is really, you know, it's funny. This is really showing
good
quite
way.
well. I like it.
So what did you think of the entire experiment? So overall, we've kind of the myth that it loses its bubbles, we've busted.
Here's my thing. There's a whole crap load of people watching,
Mm-hmm.
and what I'm excited about is this is neat, and they're going to be totally blown away by your passion and your
Mm-hmm.
knowledge. And if nothing else, I mean, for me, this is I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you haven't watched all 800, and hopefully you've watched one or two. I am massively passionate about sparkling wine. It is definitely my category of
Cool.
excitement. I think sparkling wine is massively underrated in general. And I think ironically, you know, Moet and Clicquot and some of the other producers have done the best marketing job. So it's a very interesting category for me in general. I think there's a lot of exploring that needs to be done by the vast majority of the US public. I think what this does for me is definitely, you know, reminds me of how much decanting in general is fascinating, how much variation is fascinating, how much there's only great bottles, not great wines. I mean, there's so much. And then when you start getting as extreme and hardcore into the science aspects that you understand, that makes a whole lot more sense to you than it does for me. You know, to hear your breakdown here on such a technical and knowledgeable level only reaffirms what I think people that have a good sense and maybe have had the ability and the luck to taste as much wine as I have, you just know it's to be true.
Right.
I mean, when you taste 14 wines, the same wine 14 times, like a 97 cab because you were trying to learn like I was, or 05 Bordeaux because you were tasting 05 Bordeaux every day, you learn so much in that. I mean, most people who are watching right now, they try a 95 or 2006 Pinot Noir, this and that. And also what lends to so much stress for me of doing this show. You know, I have a wine open for 45 minutes, I sit down, I taste it for 3 minutes, I give it a score, I put it out there, I put my 2 cents behind it, knowing so many factors are in play. My mentality, the weather, you know, that bottle.
Did you have your coffee that morning?
So many things. So what this does for me is says, you know, just reminds me, oh right, crap, science is behind this. You know, but I mean that. And I think what's fascinating is, I think for a lot of people, listen, anybody who watches a wine show on the internet is clearly got some nerd in them, right? So I find that this is going to be quite interesting for them. My concern is that they're going to be scared or kept out of market because of the cost of a decanter like this, because of the limited amount of champagne that most people drink. So what I would say is, I think it'd be powerful to understand that maybe this is clearly the ideal way to do it, but I mean, I don't want to step on the technical terms, but I desperately want people to try it one way or another. If you're in a position where you only have one decanter, you should still do it.
Right.
It's not going to do the same perfect things,
Well,
it sounds like.
you can, but I mean, again, what you're doing here is you've got this surface area. So, you know, if you have
Maybe they can take a bowl.
yeah, a bowl, whatever that you can do, try it out, test it out, and see what you like best, and then you can serve that to your guests.
I mean, clearly, at the end of the day, to answer your question, because I give you a 7-minute answer to your question, the wines taste different.
Yeah.
Clearly, no doubt about it. If the thing that's making you passionate of the discussion you're hearing, that bubbles don't last for an hour, clearly they do. And I think we have a little surprise for everybody.
Yeah, we do.
So, Mott, you ready?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Don't tell them.
Okay.
They're gonna freak. Ready?
Okay.
Because you know I'm scared. You know that. We talked about this. So let's go. Now, Mott, I'm very worried about what's about to happen. Let's go.
We have to prep a little bit first.
Yep. So, Mott, you know, get ready. This is a very interesting moment in Wine Library TV history. I hope you enjoyed it. She was obviously massively impressive with her knowledge. Mott, that was some serious science there. Serious science.
Okay.
Okay. I'm
You've
already scared.
Yep, I look like a homicidal maniac, I know that. But these are champagne sabers. They are specifically designed by La Guiole. You'll see that right on there. I don't know if you can see that, La Guiole. Like you see their corkscrews, they make amazing corkscrews.
That are like $1 trillion?
That are like $1 trillion. But these are champagne sabers, and we are going to, I'm going to demonstrate it, and then I'm going to teach you how to do it by demonstrating.
So I've been offered to do this like 50 times in my life, and I've passed every time because
But because I'm cute, he's doing it for me.
Absolutely. Because I don't want to look like a clown in front of the girls, but it's scary. I don't want to like rip my hand off. Okay.
So what we're gonna do, and you probably, well, I'm gonna
Just
point
shoot it wherever you
all
want.
right, wherever.
Just not a big.
So what you do is every bottle is made up of 2 halves, right?
Yep, I see it.
So you've got a vertical seam that goes up.
Yep.
So I always nick it,
Okay.
so I always remember where it is, because sometimes,
Okay.
and it has to be well chilled.
Well chilled. Remember
And
this at home.
Well chilled.
Do not try this at home.
Don't
Do
try it.
not try this at home.
So it has to be well chilled and undropped because it can be combustible and it can explode. And shards of glass can go through your arm. So
Here we go. This is why I don't do this.
see what you're gonna do. I'm gonna teach you
I'm
how to do
devastated
this.
right now.
Okay. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put your thumb on here, right?
Yep.
Where it is. See if I can do this. And you're gonna. This is 0.
Okay.
This is 30 degrees.
Okay.
0,
30.
30. Okay.
Yep.
You're gonna hold this at like a 45-degree angle. Why
45.
you don't want to spill it.
Okay.
Right? So, and then you're going to go up until the seam meets the lip, because
Yep.
that is the weakest point of the champagne bottle.
Yep.
Right? And have your arm go out like this. Your arm has a tendency to do that. Don't do
Okay.
that. It's got to be perfectly perpendicular up like that. Okay?
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ooh, sorry. But that's how you do it. I think I've destroyed their ceiling.
I'm definitely not doing that.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And look, it's perfectly clean. So, and you don't have to worry about any of the, champagne glass going into the champagne, because it
Right.
just completely blows it away.
Okay.
So you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Mott. All right. Is this the one I'm doing?
Yep.
You're gonna love it. Yeah, I'm gonna love it. Okay.
I'm gonna stand behind here.
Yep.
So,
So
you can see where's the seam.
seam looks like it's right here, right?
Are you sure?
Yep. I think so. That's a seam, right?
Yep. Yep. You see it. You see it. Yep.
Okay.
That is the seam. And what you're gonna do is take the cage off.
This is not gonna end good. K. Murph is laughing her butt off.
Hey, we all gotta learn sometime, right?
I guess so, K. Murph. Okay.
Okay. Put your thumb
Okay. So.
on that.
Okay.
Now keep your eye on the seam, because if you miss the seam, it won't work. And let me just show you too.
So what does that mean?
If you do it like that, it won't work. If you do it like that,
So I
it
have to go
won't work.
straight to the seam.
Yep. So this is 0. This is 30, right?
Okay. So this, keep it at 45, right?
The bottle is at 45.
Okay.
This is at 30.
So I have to go straight.
Straight, and you straight out, right? Pretend that the seam is not even. Pretend this lip is not even there. All right. You just gotta follow it up.
Yep. And go straight.
Just go straight. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
See?
I'm so into sabering.
So he's gonna saber
I
probably every
sabered
show from
every
now
champagne for the rest of my life. You, with a little bit of me, and science geeks like this, we're changing the wine world. That was awesome.